Never count out America. And I say that as a proud Canadian. But when we think about and let's decompose your question a little bit, and I'll go geography by geography. Allow me to ramble.
Yes, go. So that's what the podcast is for.
Exactly. No time, right? So the first point is when we think about the Canadian Stock Exchange, it's only 40% domestic. And those domestic profits are centered specifically around the banking sector in a disproportionate way. So hold out hope that the credit cycle doesn't adversely turn in Canada, because this conversation for the TSX might take on a slightly different flavor. When it comes to Europe, Europe is moving in an idiosyncratic manner because they're finally taking what the US playbook was for the last 10 years and then rolling it into themselves. And so the German economy letting loose with the fiscal taps will help stimulate, but that doesn't change the fact that when you look across the European market, you have financials as the anchor of the portfolios. You have real estate. You have basically in most economies, they're regional areas of focus. So the DAX is the autos as an example. Italy has some consumer brands, but financials are the through line, and they've been the strongest performers in that market. That's not to say that it's not going to keep going for the next 6 months or the next year. And I am constructive on Europe. Don't get me wrong. But that's not a 10-year thesis. The 10-year thesis is research and innovation, cash flow generation, and frankly, the United States is still the best of the bunch. And the last piece on this conversation is, I know you're going to bring up China as part of this because China's also seen a tremendous rally. No doubt about it, but the Chinese economy is largely speaking, the public side of what we see is the Alibabas, the Tencents of the world, but they are a very small piece in the grand scheme of things for China. China's debt problems are an ongoing problem for them to have to manage. And we're just seeing in the hands of Baidu, Alibaba, Tencent, maybe BYD, a strong resurgence, but the structural issues in China have not been solved either.
So you're not chasing the Chinese market here?
I'm chasing China 0%. I'm constructive on Europe tactically, and we have added to Europe in the portfolio. But where I'm the most excited as we look ahead is actually America once again.